It's wonderful to be back here. I want to welcome all of you here to the center. And we pray that the next few weeks that we will be spending together are going to be joyous and happy ones for each and every one of us. As we travel, we find that irrespective of what part of the world we are in, the desires of the people are similar. They might be born in a certain faith, they might live in one part of the world, their cultures might be different, but everyone wants to be happy, everyone wants to be peaceful, and everyone's striving to find the love in their lives, which would make their life worth living. And so people all over the globe, even though we've had tremendous strides in the materialistic world, are looking for peace and calm. And it is when we start to meditate, when we start to go within, that we start to experience those states. And so it's very nice to see that after all the attractions that this world brings to us, that there comes a time when all those attractions are meaningless. And there comes a time when I start to feel, what is there to live? As a young person, you want to make more money, you want to provide for yourselves and your family, and so you work very hard. And whatever field you are in, depending on whatever your education is, so you work hard and you do your very best to make as much wealth for yourself and your family as you can. And then as you age, you start to realize that the wealth that you accumulated is not really buying you what you think it would have or it should have. If you work hard and you create some wealth for yourself, it's not like all of a sudden your relationships are gonna change. If you're husband and wife, whatever fun you're having before, you're gonna have it later on too. It's not that all of a sudden all your arguments are going to go away. It's not that your children are going to behave with you differently. It's not like all of a sudden everything's going to be very harmonious and calm and peaceful. And when that happens, then you start to realize, okay, is the time spent in going in those directions good for us or not? And this is why what is very interesting is, when you read the last words of some of the people who've been very, let's say, quote unquote, popular in this world, whether they were great politicians or leaders of the countries or philosophers or artists, that if you try to look at the last words that they spoke before they physically passed away, no one talked about accumulating wealth, okay, as being a means to happiness and joy. God, when God gave us this existence, gave it for us to make the best use of this opportunity. And so we need to be in a state in which we can experience that happiness, whatever state of life we are passing through, whatever phase of life we are going through. And happiness and joy comes in being anchored with stability, where there's no worries, there's no fear, there's no anxiety. And when you start to look at all the difficulties that we have in our own lives, it's because of fear and anxiety of what will happen in the future, and not being able to deal with whatever is in our surroundings. And so, when we look at life from a angle of what should I be doing, I mean, you always come to the conclusion that if we are anchored in the Creator, if we are anchored in God, that everything that is happening with us is going to be looking to us, feeling to us, being with us, because that's what it is, as being what it should be. It's just like we generally have so many expectations of whatever environment we find ourselves in, that as soon as one expectation not met, we get devastated. And so the realization that anchoring in God, an anchor in the Creator, is what is necessary, is the state that we want to get to. And that state comes to us as we have that connection with the Creator, and that connection comes as we sit in silence, as we experience the Creator, because God is with each and every one of us. God is not to be found on the outside, God is to be found on the inside. And that is where the aspect of meditation comes into play. So meditation can be experienced by everyone, irrespective of whatever faiths we are born into, irrespective of whatever our beliefs are, irrespective of what part of the world we live in, irrespective of whatever educational backgrounds we have. Because it's the meditative aspects of our life which makes this life to be led in a manner in which it should be led. And so the key is to experience that state more and more and more. And so a spiritual path is focused on us being able to meditate regularly on a daily basis. Meditate so that we can experience the divine light and sound of God, which are the two primal manifestations of the divine. And as we do that, then we'll find that everything else in life would be looking very joyous, very happy, very blissful to us, because as we experience God, and we start to fall in love with God. And as we fall in love with God, those of you who experience love in the life outside, you know at that time everything looks to be great. So when you're in love with God, then nothing better can happen to us. And so the key is to go within, experience God, love God, and then we will be able to take steps towards our goal, which is to be able to find the oneness with the Creator. I mean, we who are on this spiritual path come from all walks of life, from all faiths, from all different parts of the world, different cultures. And so as we talk about some of these questions, it's a better understanding at the mental level, so that our mind, instead of being a hindrance to us to meditate, becomes like one who's going on the same journey as us, who's helping us on the journey. And questions could be coming in many ways to us. Many of them come through all these emails and all kinds of mails. And we try to address as many of them as we possibly can. And I think in answering the question of one, the questions of many others get answered. So let us try to address the questions that we received this week and see if we can do any justice to them.
How can we maintain peace and harmony while doing selfless service?
I think if we're doing selfless service and we have difficulties with multiple people, we should analyze ourselves first. We should realize that if we have a difficulty one person or two persons, that's okay, but if we have difficulty with multiple people, then I think something wrong with us not with everyone else. It's a human tendency to feel this person is wrong, that person is wrong, that person is wrong, that person is wrong, they're not doing the right thing, they're not doing the right thing. But if you feel multiple people are not doing the right thing, then it would be very rare that we would be correct. I think we need to look at ourselves and see what kind of personality do we have. Can we get along with someone? And if we can't, if we have trouble with multiple people, then I think we should maybe take one of our courses on conflict resolution and resolve our difficulties. I mean, there are means by which we can resolve conflict. When we do selfless service is done to help someone. Yeah? And so when we are in a seva project, we're doing selfless service, the intent is that help would go to someone else. So you don't want to create difficulties in that process. Now when we work with others, some difficulties do come in. The cultures are different, their understandings are different. So there might be some difficulties, but if everyone is doing it lovingly and caringly, then those difficulties should not be too big to overcome. Okay? Sometimes we do have some karma with others that we have to pass through, but not all karmas in one project with everyone else. Okay? Some karma with some person here, some person there. That's a part of life. I think so the key is to be able to understand that as we do selfless service, our intention is to help someone, and helping someone comes when there's happiness, there's harmony. And so we need to work in harmony to be able to get to our goals. Okay? Selfless service is helping without expectations or any reward for ourselves. Okay? So selfless service needs to be done in the name of God. So when we help someone in the name of God, because we feel that maybe we have the skills to help them, we feel that our support would relieve them of their pain, of their difficulty. We feel their life will get better because of us trying to do whatever we can to make their life more loving and harmonious. And so, as we help someone, we need to realize that we're not the ones who are doing it. It's God's play that we have been chosen as the one through whom help is going to someone. Okay? So when we help someone in God's name, then no karma is created. Okay? And this is why many times the great saints have said that the benefits of meditation and the benefits of selfless service are very similar. See, when you meditate properly, no karma is created, because you have no thoughts, you have no words, and you have no deeds. Okay? And so no karma is created if you meditate properly. And similarly, if you're doing selfless service properly in the name of the Lord, not thinking that we are the doers, then that time which is spent in helping someone is also a time of ne karma, and no karma is created at that time. So it needs to be done with the realization that it's not us that are helping someone, that we are just a vehicle through which help is being provided to someone else. When we look at ourselves from that vision, from that angle, then we realize that no karma will be created when we help someone else.
How can we find time for our spiritual practices while balancing the responsibilities of student life?
As a student, it is our responsibility to learn as much as we can from the courses that we're taking. And also, there are many competitive exams that come in. Let's say there's an exam for you before you can enter college. There are other exams that you take to get into certain jobs. And so you have to prepare very meticulously for them. Many times what happens is, like let's say there's an exam on a certain date. So we keep on running our life as is going on till like a week or 10 days or 2 days before the exam. And then we try to cram like crazy. Okay? We put all our efforts And so then we say, oh, I don't have any time to meditate because I have to, study for my exam. What is very important is to recognize that in life, we need to focus on the activities that we are going to be involved with. Okay? And so we need to manage our time properly so that those activities are done in the proper manner. Let's say you have an exam in 1 month from today. So as a student, when you know you have an exam 1 month from today, then you need to think, what are the subjects that I need to study? How many hours of study I think I need to put in that direction? If I'm going to read a book, how many pages of book am I going to read on, let's say, one course, another course, let's say 4 or 5 things in which exam. So you have to plan for it and then start to do that starting today, so that every day you're taking some part of it and going through. Let's say you're supposed to do 100 pages, and then a month, in 30 days. They say, okay, 100 divided by 3 is 33.333333, right? So you say, okay, I'll read 3.33 pages every day. Okay? And I'll get to it. So you have to figure out how do you get to your goal. And then, if you do that, then you'll have time to meditate as you're going along too. Whereas if you wait and you just start to focus on, let's say, studying in the last 1 week, you won't have enough time to figure out how to do your courses, and you'll spend so much time there that you don't think you'll have time for your meditation. The other thing to think about as a student is that when we meditate, then our concentration gets better. Because meditation is another means of concentration. And as the concentration gets better, then we assimilate more in the time that we focus on our studies. So then in a smaller amount of time, we can gain more information for ourselves. We can learn more. And so, as a student, we need to look at what courses we are taking, what kind of exams we have to do, and what is going to be happening in the next month or 2 or 3, and then plan our days accordingly. If we do that, then I think we will be able to find time to meditate. It won't be a problem.
Why do the eyes sometimes flicker or blink during meditation?
As we meditate, the process of meditation is so that we take our attention away from the world outside and focus it within ourselves. And so as we are meditating, then we're trying to focus all our attention in front of us so that we can experience the divine light within. Okay? What happens is, even though when we try, it takes a while to perfect the techniques. And so many times in the beginning, as we have closed our eyes and we're doing our Simran and we're trying to focus in front of us, our attention still is not totally focused. Okay? When it gets focused, we see the light. Now, because we haven't practiced enough, our attention then goes on the outside. Okay? And so as we see the light on the inside, our attention is still not totally in there. It goes on the outside, and then the eyes tend to flicker a little bit because our attention then is going on the outside and the eyes are opening up because our attention is gone on the outside, because the eyes want to see what is going on the outside. And so there's a flickering effect. Now with time and practice, as we practice more and more, then we get to the state where we are not distracted by the thoughts which take our attention on the outside. And so I would suggest to the person who sent this question to focus more on the meditative techniques, to be sitting for longer periods of time at a stretch, and then with time they'll get to a state where their attention will remain on the inside. Many times people talk about, oh, when I was sitting to meditate, my feet are getting numb. That means like our attention not on the inside, our attention has gone to our feet. And that our feet, from where the sensory currents are collecting, are getting numb. And so the key is to keep our focus on the inside and not let the outside distract us. Let us meditate for a few minutes. Please sit as comfortably as you can. Close your eyes very gently, just like you close them when you go to sleep. Your eyeballs should be straight, focus right in front of you. And as you close your eyes, those of you who have been initiated in the mysteries of the beyond, please do your Simran. And those of you who are new here, please repeat any name of God that you feel comfortable with. The repetition of God's name should be done mentally and not out loud. I pray to God Almighty to help each and every one of us connect with the divine power within and to experience the divine light of God within ourselves. So we'll be sitting for a few minutes. My best wishes are with each and every one of you, and I'll be getting you out of this meditative state in a few minutes. Please leave off. Please leave off.